Here's a tip to help orient your panels correctly. The underlap rib is typically a different color than the exposed side of the panel, while the overlap rib is always the same color. Field notch the overlap and underlap ribs of the panel up to 1.5 inches from the end of the panel. To get a consistent bend on the hem, use a 15¼ inch hemming block for a 16-inch panel. Place a continuous bead of the tube sealant inside the open hem. To finish, slide the vertical seam panel toward the high end of the roof onto the extended eave or the open hem of the offset cleat. Make sure the offset cleat is fully engaged into the vertical seam panel. If you're using wall panels, you must consider using additional overhang. The high side condition will be a fixing point for the panel. You should install one pancake head wood screw to keep the panel from sliding down the roof. Installing remaining panels. Once the first panel has been installed, roll the first clip into lock position over the underlap rib of the panel. Then, fasten the vertical seam clip to the deck with the proper type and number of fasteners. If a fastener strips out, remove the clip and reposition it so the fastener can drill a new hole at least 3/8 of an inch from the stripped hole, or install an oversized fastener into the stripped hole. Failure to do this will impact the system's ability to resist the applied loads, so make sure the installation is secure. For certain building codes and state or county specifications, special clip spacing may be required. Metal sales can provide specific clip and fastener spacing. Before you install the second vertical seam panel, tube sealant must be placed on the underlap rib of the first panel at the eave. Place the second panel on top of the previously installed panel so that the second hem panel can be engaged with the offset cleat. Next, begin snapping the panels together, working from eave to peak. It is critical that panels only be snapped in one direction. Repeat this process for the remaining panels. If you are installing vertical seam panels and come to a valley condition, lay the panel down at the valley and mark the panel ribs to be cut. Snap a chalk line for the diagonal cut of the pan of the panel 2 inches from the panel ribs. Bend the panel hem around and install a continuous bead of tube sealant in the open hem. Slide the panel into the offset cleat at the valley and snap into place. Install panel clips. Once the panels are properly snapped into place, be sure to clean any debris or excess sealant before continuing the next section of the roof. The size and location of all roof penetrations should always be an important consideration. Areas around roof vents or rooftop units may show that corrosive fumes are emitted from a process within a building. In the following example, the procedures are for vent pipes 6 inches or less and not transmitting extremely hot or caustic materials. Remember, always abide by local plumbing codes when you're installing vent pipes. The vent pipe must extend through the flat of the roof panel. If the vent pipe extension cannot be raised directly into the flat of the new roof panel, use elbows to offset the pipe. Determine the size and length of the vent pipe to be raised. Take the appropriate measurements for the vent location and mark them on the vertical seam panel. When cutting the panel for the penetration, make the hole 1/2 inch larger in radius than the pipe. This will allow the panel to expand and contract around the penetration. Cut the top of the rubber roof jack so that it fits snug on the pipe. Slide the rubber roof jack onto the pipe all the way down until it is setting on the roof panel. If you are installing a square-based rubber roof jack, make sure you turn it diamond-shaped so the water runs around the side. Flip the rubber roof jack up so that you can install tube sealant to the underside at the pipe. Flip the rubber roof jack back down flush with the panel. Bend up the base tabs of the rubber roof jack one side at a time and apply a bead of tube sealant. Repeat this with the other 3 sides of the rubber roof jack. Attach the base of the rubber roof jack to the panel